Spring is always an experimental time for Ohio volleyball, but since things kind of took a turn last spring with a lot of abnormal injuries happening to the Cats, spring was actually very newsworthy for Ohio this year. And a lot of those girls that were injured last fall finally are coming back, and they're getting back into the groove of things. And we got the chance to catch up with head coach Deane Webb to kind of get his thoughts and analysis from this past spring, what he saw, some of the gains that were made with each individual on the team, and to also get the potential that he sees for this team going into next fall.
I would say the spring was in some ways experimental for us, but in some ways it was, I guess, a very different spring in that we actually had more healthy players in the spring than we did at any point in the fall. And so although we did experiment, we had Sarah spent quite a bit of time on the left for us. Tia spent quite a bit of time on the right for us, moved them both out of the middle just to see what that looked like. Ended up spending the end of the spring and spending our competitive phase of the spring back in the middle. So those were the things I would say were a little different, that we tried something new, but really it was more about getting some other people back. Simone, I think, was someone that she was cleared almost to the day right when spring season began. And so she was cleared to start doing jumps. And of course you work them in. You don't just go back first day and go in to do 100 jumps like everybody else on the team. You have to work your way back in. So I think she, in January, was a very different athlete than what she was in April. By the time we got to the end of April, she's only 1 inch down from what she was pre-injury as her approach. So we feel like she'll get that and then more back this summer. For her, it was great just to get her back and continue the learning. She was in this very, very steep learning phase when she got injured a year ago. And now to get her back and see her contribute is wonderful, particularly on the blocking side. She just has lateral speed that is special. It's unusual, and we got to see some of that in the spring. Was really good. DeHilis, of course, was cleared earlier. DeHilis was cleared at some point during the fall season, was learning, working her way in, and she's still very much, I think, learning some of the blocking, the speed you need to get out to the outside and things like that. An unbelievable athlete. She had a jump this spring that the school record was 10.7 that she set in the fall, and she went up 3 inches. So she's now touching 10.10. I mean, able to, not that she's tried, but I mean, able to dunk a basketball. And she's just an unbelievable athlete. And so she's learning, she's improving. She's still working on some timing with some different routes and things like that. But I mean, one of the better athletes in the conference for sure. And so really excited about what she's going to be able to provide. And then of course Jamie coming back, even though she was only in there passing, just to have that presence back, the unquestioned driver of the team, the person who's going to say what needs to be said and get done what needs to get done, work at an incredibly high level. It's just, you can't overstate how much her leadership means to this team. And playing most of last season without both of our captains, we lost both of them within 30 minutes of each other in the fourth match of the year. Katie, of course, was back all spring, had a great spring, and then getting Jamie back at the end, I think it just gives an extra boost to our team as we go into the summer, as we get prepared for a very competitive fall. Our team has set some pretty big goals for themselves for this fall, but we need this time. You know, we need these 100 days to put the work in, because really that's what's going to prepare us physically for what is to come. The spring is a lot about gaining strength. We're not necessarily gaining a lot of speed and jump during this phase of the year. The summer is when we have to turn those strength gains into speed and jump games. We need to do that because the level of opponent that we're playing this fall requires that. We can't be playing at a certain height, or we just won't be able to function against that level of opponent. And so we need that time. We have some kids, they're a little dinged up this time of year, that's normal. And so getting that break will be really important. And I do believe, I really like that our sport, honestly. I know there's some sports that train during the summer. I'm glad that ours doesn't. I think it's really healthy to get away. I think it's really healthy for our kids to get some time off and get away, have a couple of weeks with family, take a vacation, whatever that may be, and then come back. And during that summer session 2 that's run by the captains, I love that there's an opportunity for our kids to go in there and play volleyball and just enjoy that time together as a team without coaches. Let that leadership develop among our captains and also those rising leaders or emerging leaders that we have in our program. And so, yes, I'm very much looking forward to it, but I think there's great value in this time of year for them as well.
So the next update we'll hear from Ohio Volleyball come midsummer. Once that 2018 schedule comes out, Webb kind of teased a little bit who the Cats will face. They're going to see a lot of tough competition in non-conference play coming in August and September. I'm excited. You should be too. And for Athens with Love, I'm Jake Hromada.